Shot of Craven Cottage, which will be a terrific endpoint for this first part of the season for Manchester United, who now cut that gap to the top four to just 3 points. And in the end, what a way to wrap up the final Premier League game before the World Cup as the league takes a 6-week breather. And this is how it all played out. A special win for Brentford, of course, away to the defending champions Manchester City. Bournemouth with that much-needed win over a struggling Everton. Liverpool stringing back-to-back wins at the end of this first part of the campaign against Southampton. Forest have found this season tough going since their promotion. They picked up a needed win themselves at home to Crystal Palace. Spurs, it's been an eventful time for Antonio Conte since he took the helm this season. They came out on top in a 7-goal thriller against Leeds United. Leicester's initial struggles have come good towards the end of this campaign as we now take a breather heading towards Boxing Day. Newcastle's terrific campaign continued with that win against Chelsea, as did Arsenal with that win at Wolves. And today has seen a win for Aston Villa away to Brighton, and then for Manchester United away to Fulham. This will make good reading for Arsenal fans. They sit top of the table for the next 6 weeks. 5 points clear at the summit on 37 points. Manchester City then the second on 32. Both have played a game fewer. The Newcastle in third on 30 points. And Tottenham, who are in the final Champions League place on 29. Manchester United sign off in 5th place, just 3 points shy of the top four, having played 14 games. Liverpool 7 points off the top four with a game in hand. Brighton in the final European place. Chelsea are in 8th, 8 points off the top four. Fulham and Brentford complete the top 10. Wolves will prop up the table until Boxing Day on 10 points, 4 points adrift of safety. Joining the bottom three by Southampton and Nottingham Forest. Everton West Ham is safe by just a point. Leeds 2 points clear of the drop zone. Bournemouth 3. Leicester have a 4-point cushion. Aston Villa up to 12th, safe by 5 points, with Palace just above them.
Bruno, Christian, have we just seen a bit of magic secure all 3 points for Manchester United?
Yeah, I think in the end we're just happy with the 3 points. And I think it was a hard-fought game on the both ends, but yeah, no, we're very pleasing with the 3 points in the end.
Bruno, you've spoken about him. Just how much talent does Alejandro Garnacho have?
Oh yes, he has a lot of talent, and obviously he's worked great together with the talent. Make big difference for us coming from the bench. It's not the first time that he makes a big impact for us, so we are really happy for him, and we know that he can give us goals, assists, and pure joy of football.
You've said previously that if he has the right approach, he can go all the way. Are you seeing signs of that?
I think everyone is seeing signs of that, not because of his goals or his assists, but the way he comes into the games. You know, coming from the bench, no one likes to be on the bench. So if you are young, older, doesn't matter, you don't like to be on the bench. So the attitude that he has when he comes off from the bench is being fantastic. So I think he's being deserves the chances that he's getting, and he's getting his goals, his rewards. So that's what his football is about.
Christian, first goal for Manchester United. What does that mean to you?
Just like Bruno said, about time. I think I've owed a few, so I'm happy to get on. Yeah, it's true. But I've owed a few, and just happy to be on the score sheet. And of course, today in the end, the last game before the World Cup and the 3 points in the end is lovely.
It's a great story. What sort of week has it been for you? Named in the squad, obviously, to go to the World Cup and to get the goal too.
Yeah, no, it's been a good week. I mean, it started last week, of course, finished not as good with the loss at Villa, but afterwards it's picked up, and we have the point before in the cup, and like I said, to the World Cup. I mean, I've worked hard to get there, so I'm happy.
Yeah, he talks there almost with a sense of relief. He says it's about time he scored for Manchester United. But that got the ball rolling, of course, as far as Ten Hag's side is concerned. But the headlines will be dominated by a certain 18-year-old. Alejandro Garnacho, who's already shown glimpses of a real talent and has probably announced his arrival today, is he not, Michael?
Yeah, you definitely say so. He's going to hit the headlines. Yeah. And, of course, just to be an 18-year-old in this squad, that says it all. You know, he's obviously got an awful lot of talent. We can't wait to see more of that in the Premier League over the coming years. He made an impact today. He came on. The first couple of times he ran at his man, it didn't quite come off, but he was brave enough to keep going, and this was a lovely goal. He just feeds it inside. Look how direct he is. He feeds it inside, continues his run, and he just strokes it into the corner. No panic whatsoever.
Even when I watch it now, I'm not quite sure how he gets on the end of it, because he seems like he's second best behind Decordova-Reid, but he somehow shows a burst of acceleration, gets himself in there, But as we said, he's so direct. He knows exactly where he wants to go with the ball, whether he's running without the ball or running with the ball. But I really like the celebration. There's a touch of arrogance with the celebration, which I don't mind at all.
Yeah.
But, I mean, as you said there, with the attributes that he's got, if his work rate and game obviously goes alongside his skill, then there's no reason how far he could go.
There's no fear about that guy right now. You could see almost in the way that he celebrates it.
That's the beauty of being 18. It's, if you could only bottle that all your life, no fear whatsoever. You go on there with like a cockiness and arrogance, and from now on, it's all what's going on between his ears. That's the thing now. He's obviously got the talent. He's obviously got the pace, the touch, the skill, the confidence. Now it's not getting carried away, and it's what's between his ears that's going to make the difference between whether he's just going to be a one-hit wonder or whether he can have a nice career in the game.
Now, you see, this is interesting. So he's already, of course, had an effect in the first team, 2 goals and 2 assists in his last 4 appearances. But there have been public quotes from Bruno Fernandes and Erik ten Hag, his coach, talking about his attitude, how in pre-season he maybe arrived late on a couple of occasions, and that his attitude needed to improve. In a way, while it was questioned at the time, was it right to do that on a youngster? Will it serve him better in the long term?
I think it will serve him better. I mean, coming from the manager, I'd say, OK, fair enough.
Yeah.
I didn't quite like it when it came from Bruno, because I thought you've got to protect some of these young players, and I get it if there was something going on in pre-season, maybe keep that in-house, to let the senior players kind of deal with it. But the fact that the coach came out and said it, OK, you hold your hands up. But it will serve him in good stead, because everyone's seen the attributes, everyone's seen the quality that he's got moving forward onto the pitch. He can score goals, he can create. But it's about now getting on the training pitch, working hard. Maybe trying to, I know it's going to be hard playing for a club like Manchester United, but keeping a low profile, working hard, and let the rest take care of itself.
But, Michael, you don't want that to kind of raise its head again today of all days, because this is a moment where you should be talking about him positively, right?
Absolutely, yeah. No, and we are. I mean, it's a big worry, though. You know, it's a big worry at 18, and the manager has already come out publicly. Bruno's come out publicly and spoken about attitude. I mean, that should be ironed out right away. I know in the Manchester United dressing room that I was in, it would be ironed out, and previous years. So I just hope this dressing room, which I think it would be strong enough to deal with it internally, as Dan says. It is quite worrying that that's been put out in the open, but hopefully he is, you know. He's got the intelligence and he's got the know-how to listen to people in experienced places and people that have been there and seen it and done it before.
But it feels like, you know, when you hear what Erik ten Hag inherited, how he's addressed certain parts of that dressing room, he's a disciplinarian. So maybe he's got the right head coach to deal with things.
Well, he has to. I think it's a massive job, and I know he was in charge of Ajax, but listen, there's a big difference between Manchester United and Ajax. Manchester United are trying to get back to where they feel they should be, and he's going to have to make big decisions. He's done that already this season. The likes of Ronaldo, the Maguire situation, he's had to make big decisions in such a short space of time. But if you look at the progression that Manchester United are showing and where they're trying to get to, you'd have to say they're making steps in the right direction. So rather than questioning the decisions that he's made, you've got to kind of praise him and say, well, fair play to you, because it looks like you've made the right decisions. Yeah, and he's got a coach as well that believes in him, bringing him on with 20 minutes left. When Fulham look like they're in the ascendancy, he clearly has the backing of his head coach. Yeah, and I always believe actions speak louder than words. I mean, there's an 18-year-old in a pressure situation, they need a goal, and the manager turns to him. So that's, you know, that speaks volumes. As I mentioned earlier, he ran at his man a couple of times. Early on, that first one, you know, there was shouts for penalties, but it wasn't. Again, here he gets his man one-on-one. And feeds it into Luke Shaw, who makes the overlap. It doesn't come to anything in the end, although it is a good chance. But the longer the game goes, he doesn't shirk it. He makes a good run inside there, maybe a little half a second too soon, and just gets snuffed out. But then his moment comes later on in the game, and it's just brilliant to watch. You know, look how wide he is. He's virtually off the pitch there. His first touch is good, and then he drives in. And, you know, I just can't believe this burst of pace. Yes. You just never think he's going to get it, and all of a sudden, it's unbelievable. Great pace and a great, calm, composed finish. Darren? Yeah, great finish. As I said, I keep watching the replay, and I still don't know how he got there, but it's a sign of things to come. He's making an impact coming from the bench. His starts will come. All he can keep doing is working hard, working with the players that he's got, the manager that he's got, and getting better and better.
He loved the moment. You could see it with that fist to the camera as well. Let's get some...
have looked far more threatening when they're in attacking positions. I've liked their intent, I've liked their pace on the break. Fulham have been quite brave. They've tried to play a high line. Manchester United have tried to exploit that. And we've been discussing as well, watching the game, how Fulham get crosses into the box, but they just don't look like scoring without Mitrovic in there.
They're missing him, are they?
They're missing him, yeah. So, on balance, yes, Manchester United deservedly winning.
Let's have a look at the only goal that's been scored so far. Incredibly, Christian Eriksen's first goal for Manchester United. United's midfield three all playing a part, including Casemiro at the top there.
Yeah, really good goal for Manchester United, winning back possession, but they break incredibly quick. I mean, I'm not quite sure how much Bruno meant for that pass, but listen, Tom Kearney, he's not played much football this season. He didn't last time they were in the Premier League. And I think for this reason, look how quickly, Michael, they obviously press the ball.
They do. Paulinho, I think, commits himself as well, Darren. I think, and then he's on the wrong side all of a sudden from Eriksen. But when they do break and get it past that midfield area, look at how many players sprinting, 5 of them, all sprinting. Now that takes a little deflection and a little bit of luck from Bruno there. You see it just clips off the heel and goes into the path of Eriksen, but it's a very, very good goal, and it's a goal that we sort of see nowadays a lot of. You know, somebody makes a mistake in midfield, and all of a sudden, do it quickly.
Yeah.
Don't turn back. And Manchester United, they've got loads of pace up front, and they're utilising it.
Yeah. Actually, obviously, from a striker's perspective, for both of you, the anticipation showed by Eriksen there was pretty impressive, right?
Yeah, of course, because I think in that situation, you're always expecting the ball to kind of flash across that 6-yard box, whether the keeper makes a save or it gets a nick off a defender. But as you said there, first goal for Manchester United, anticipated something might happen, and if you don't get in there, you don't get them rewards, and it's a good goal from Eriksen.
But should United have had more than just the one goal, Michael?
Probably, possibly. Yeah, they've had a couple of chances. I think that's fair to say. As I said, Fulham have been playing quite a high line. I like this little bit of play. Again, as soon as they smell a chance, they really do flood bodies into the box. 6 players in and around the box there, away from home. It's decent. I wouldn't say that was a missed chance. I thought Leno did well. As soon as Martial lifts his head, the goalkeeper's on him. And another chance here, Darren.
Yeah, really good chance. I mean, Eriksen, again, breaking into the box, probably should hit the target. I know it's on his weaker side and it's on the stretch, but it's a fantastic ball from Bruno, because he can't even see Eriksen, Michael.
He doesn't see Eriksen. He definitely doesn't mean this. I've looked at it a load of times. He's looking into the box. He thinks Martial's pulling onto the penalty box. And in fact, if he did lift his head up, he'll see that Eriksen was way behind his man. It ended up looking like a great ball, and it was certainly a good chance, but it would have been a fortuitous ball.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Would have been a killer blow for Fulham, wouldn't it, to go in 2-0 down at the break?
Yes, because they've played all right.
Yeah.
They've had a fair bit of possession, and they played all right. They just look a bit toothless, don't they, up front, that's all.
Talking of Fulham, and you have touched upon it already, they are holding a high defensive line. Are they taking a risk in doing so?
They are, when you've got the pace of Martial and Rashford, who are willing to run in behind as well. I mean, this is a fantastic ball. I mean, look how flat and high Fulham's back line are. But it's a great ball from Luke Shaw. He just leaves it into an area, and Rashford, who you know is a willing runner, he'll keep doing that over and over again. He does that. And this one here, I think Martial should do better with. Doesn't quite get the shot off, doesn't sort his feet out enough. But again here, no pressure on the ball. You've got to drop. When they stay as high as they do there, you're asking, all you've got to do is time your run. If you do that, you'll get in every single time. And this is just a bad touch from Martial, but it just seems to be a pattern. Again, no pressure on the ball. You've got to drop. They don't drop. They try and keep that high line, try and catch Manchester United offline. Doesn't happen. This time again, Rashford gets in, and Martial. It's going to continue to happen. When there's no pressure on the ball, you have to drop. You can't just stay there, because when you've got the intelligence of Martial, Rashford, and these guys that are quick, you'll never ever catch them. So you've got to just drop.
Yeah, we've got a glimpse of Marco Silva there, who ended that half remonstrating with the referee about 1 or 2 decisions. Do you feel they have been shortchanged with possible yellow card here or there?
Oh, no, I wouldn't. No, I wouldn't come away thinking, oh, the referee's had a poor game or anything there. No. I mean, frustration that he's obviously behind, but nothing more than that. And you know, he's got a big team talk now at half-time.
Absolutely, because